How's it going, everybody? This is a Acer Aspire Easystore H340. This is actually what contains my NAS server for my home, and a few months ago it actually died. It says it come with Windows Home Server. It's got a Intel Atom processor 230, 2 gigabytes of DDR2, a 3.5 SATA 2 terabyte hard drive, features one-touch USB copy, DLNA certified power saving settings, blah blah blah. Anyway, that's not what's on this. Actually, I just have Windows 7 on it that I have configured as a home server. I bought this like 3 years ago off of like Craigslist or Letgo for $10 and met somebody up at Walmart. When I got it, because it quit working for them. So what I did with it is, let's see if I can get this off. Come on, dummy. Alright. I got one of these little PCIe 1X graphics cards. If it'll come out of here. It's just a Fire MV. It's like an old school graphics card, ATI, but it works. It's got the little pin out that goes to 2 VGA ports. I just need normal graphics. It's actually a Fire MV 2250 PCI 256 megabyte. I just needed graphics because it didn't have the home server on it to be able to set up remotely, like you know, you would configure it out of the box with an IP address and everything. This is where I've already took out the part that failed from here, which is the power supply. I'm looking at that in a moment. But anyway, it's got a little hot swappable base here, and I'd put these back in. The main drive with the operating systems, this old 80 gig Velociraptor that before SSDs came out, I had a ton of these with that went into all of my main builds. I think Drive Sled 2 has a 2 terabyte Western Digital Black Enterprise. The third drive bay I think is empty because I ended up taking the 4 terabyte drive out to add to my Xbox One X, which is up there because I ran out of space, which gave my Xbox One X 8 terabytes of hard drive space, and I've only got 3 terabytes left. But that's a discussion for another day. And then this drive at the very top, which seems to be falling out because the little clips broke off, is a 1 terabyte green, which I think this is the one that has all of my, it's gotten dusty because I have not been storing this correctly. This has all my music on it. The 2 terabyte on Enterprise has like movies and stuff like that on it. Anyhow, so yeah, I need to clean it out. Obviously it sits on my back porch and hooks up, and again, I use it as a NAS drive, network attached storage for those that do not know. I think I only still got the 2 gigabyte DDR4 stick, but I do want to upgrade that to 4. I do believe it could use that. I actually have a box of RAM sitting around somewhere that's got DDR2 and DDR3 in it, but I have no idea what I've done with it, and I've got to clean all this stuff up because I've been lazy and I haven't cleaned up in a while, and it sucks. But anyway, so yes, what failed on this was this puppy, which is the power supply that came out of it, and it is a light on PS 5221 8AE. This power supply is expensive as shit. I couldn't even find it on eBay for less than like 200 bucks. Now if you find it on there, cool. At the time that I was trying to replace it, I couldn't. and it's very small, and it fits in here in a weird way, and blah blah blah. The problem is that this hard drive has a proprietary connector for all of the SATA ports. Instead of having a SATA connector like normal, since it's got the 4 SATA ports here for the hot swap bays, it plugs in to a proprietary thing right here. So since I couldn't find the correct power supply, and I noticed that this port here is pinned out with 2 5-volt or 2 12-volt, 2 5-volt, and 4 grounds, I ordered, that fell on my toe. I ordered this bad boy, which I should have been prepared and unwrapped it first. So you're gonna have to just bear with me for a minute while I get it out. Alright, I ordered this bad boy, which is actually 80 plus bronze this time, which should be more efficient, which is a light on. And it's a PS52219. It's not the same one, but that proprietary cable, because this has 2 SATA ports here, which consists of 1 red, 1 yellow, and 2 blacks per, I'm going to cut this connector off of this power supply and carefully put this connector here onto these wires so that it'll plug in to this chassis. Now, the one issue is that the old power supply is this little tiny thing. And if you look how small it is compared to the new one, you'll notice easily that this thing is not going to fit inside of this box. In fact, it's actually wider than the box is if you were to take the plastic front off. So what I'm going to do, and I know most people would not advise this, and I just don't care because I paid $10 for it, and if I can get it up and running, so be it, is I'm going to use the old holes right there. I'm going to mount this power supply with like some double-sided tape or either some zip ties to the back, route the cable through this hole after I splice that proprietary end that's right there, and I'm going to use it. So this is going to be the journey into how I accomplish this. So I'm going to go get my cutters and my crimpers and my shrink wrap, heat shrink stuff, and I'm going to switch these cables over. Alright, so I got all of the cables connected, color matched everything with the shrink wrap, kept some of this onto here. So I got this connector, this proprietary connector for the SATA ports, SATA power, connected. I did not take into account how short this 24-pin cable was. Look how long the one is on the other power supply. So I'm not about to start cutting this and splicing it into this. My time is more valuable than that, and if I happen to accidentally put the wrong wire together, I'm gonna blow everything in that thing up. So I went on eBay and found an American seller for $5.03 and got a 24-pin 12-inch extender, and it plugs into this port and then has this on the other side. So I shall resume this video whenever that piece arrives in the mail. I do believe that this 4-pin for the CPU, what the hell? Anyway, I believe this will be long enough to route, and if it's not, I'm not opposed to splicing 4 cables that I definitely know go to whatever onto it, just out of convenience if it doesn't fit to where it needs to be on the motherboard. But yes, so we got the proprietary cable done, and now we just have to wait for the extension. Alright, so it's a few weeks later actually, and I guess I was mistaken what I ordered as a extension, because I ended up getting a package that had 2 of these in them. I thought I ordered one that was about a foot long, and I got these 2 that are about 6 inches long. So anyway, it should be enough to extend this 24-pin connector. So I've got to see if I can get all of these connectors to go inside this hole here. If not, I'm going to have to cut out this little piece of metal here so that when I mount the power supply on the back, everything routes into here. The 24 pin will go to here. The 4 pin for the CPU actually goes back there, and then I've got to make sure the other wire can route up and go to here. So I'm going to attempt to get those wires through here, and we'll check back in with you. Alright, so I successfully got all of the cables, the one that I spliced together, the 4 pin and the 24 pin, through that little hole. It wasn't rough at all, kind of not in the light. Anyway, and so, oh, I dropped it. This is going to mount onto the back of here. With these already being in the hole, I'm going to take this double-sided tape and go around the edges with a couple pieces in the middle and stick it to the back, and then start routing cables, and let's see how that goes. So I got the strips put on, and I'm taking the back covers off, and then I'm gonna just make sure all these go into the hole like they're supposed to, and then firmly press it together so that hopefully it sticks. It's a little heavy. If I have to, I'll take some zip ties to it, but never mind, don't worry about that. Anyway, I'm hoping that it stays. Once it gets where it's going, it's not gonna move around too much, and I can put a little bit of pressure there and it stays on. So now to route the cables where they go. Alright, so I got my 24 pin, get the 4 pin back there, and the power cable I had to route back up underneath this hole here, and it came up behind here and plugged back into the top there. So I'm going to get the graphics card put back in, and then the top of the case, and then we'll put all of the drives back in. I got the graphics card in, but there's a fatal flaw in an airplane. Anyway, I gotta take this back off because there's a lip that goes around the back of the case for the cover that I need to put on before I put this on, and I was dumb and have it flush to the edge. So I'm gonna check that out, and then we'll be back. I got the case panel on. This is stuck back. This is ghetto, but functionality over form. So I'm gonna open it and put all of the drives back in order that I took them out, because I don't want anything that was already programmed to be changed up. So the 1 terabyte goes on top. I'm gonna make sure that that's sliding in like it should. And it looks like it did. This bay is actually empty right now, but I got a few other drives that I need to go through and test to see if I can fill it with something. Here's the 2 terabyte Enterprise one. This has most of the data on it. I really need this back because my main computer that I edit on is starting to fill up, and I really don't want to put, oh shoot, all the little rubber grommets are deteriorating. I really don't want to put another mechanical drive in my actual desktop. So this has the OS on it. which I'm probably going to do something about because I'm pretty sure I was running Windows 7 and it's end of life this past week, so I'm definitely going to turn updates off. But I'm going to go plug it up where it goes and we're going to see if we can access it. I contemplated even finishing this out to post because unfortunately it turns out that I assumed it was this power supply that was bad. Well, if I jump it between the green wire and the black wire and I gotta get this right and plug it up, you can hear this power supply still runs. This power supply is not shot, and I'm pretty confident it's not where I spliced the power for the SATA, because the machine, when you plug it in, does the same exact thing that it did with this other power supply. So, and I can't even say that I rushed to try to fix it because it's been out of commission for months. I kind of made a huge mistake and assumed it was the power supply, and yeah, there's something else going on with it. I've checked both of the jumpers to make sure it wasn't the jumper. I've taken the jumper off and or the extension off, and then jumped the green and black here, and so and this does turn on. So the power supply is functional. There's something else going on with this thing. This is the hard part where I have to decide what I want to do with it, because like I stated at the beginning of the video, I only spent $10 on this, and it's older at this point. It holds the 4 drives. I mean, it did what it was supposed to do, but it's capped out at the 2 gigs of DDR2 RAM that I had. And honestly, I have other hardware sitting around that could be used to create a more functional server slash NAS that would probably be better than this anyway. I'll probably just part this out for what it is, and there's not too much to this, so I'm assuming it's got to be something on this motherboard, and I don't know. Maybe one day when I'm bored, I'll revisit this thing, but for now I feel like my time's worth more than trying to figure that out when there's, again, other options that could be used that would probably be better than this thing anyway. And honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that I haven't posted that much on the channel lately, I probably wouldn't even upload this. But I do feel sometimes failures are worth posting as well. That way you can help deter people from making the same mistakes you make. Somebody decided they had to haul ass down the road on a motorcycle right this second, I suppose. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this together in a video, and it'll be alright. I really wanted this to work though, because we haven't been able to access any of the movies or music that I've had on here. And what really upset me was on New Year's, whenever basically I had to plug my phone up to the sound system instead of being able to pull everything off of my server. But here pretty soon I will find some hardware and rectify that, and try to document it and put it out for anybody that might be interested. So for now, we're going to retire the old Acer and call this a failure. That's a failure on my behalf. I didn't troubleshoot correctly, I suppose you could say, and that's my fault. But I'm going to get this mess cleaned up, and I guess I will catch you on the next one. Y'all have a good one.